morning, the COT data video for the week beginning the 5th of August 2024. We can see the EuroFX has been sold off. However, what had happened on Friday is that they'd really shorted it. When I say they, I mean the MyFX book retail clients. So I'll show you, copy that across. So if we come to the risk calc, they shorted the Euro USD, and they'd also shorted the New Zealand dollar USD, and because of that it really pumped the Euro USD pumped 1% on Friday. So we have to remember, while this data is really powerful, it's from Tuesday. Okay, so things can happen after Tuesday, certainly Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Friday we had the NFP, and the herd went really bearish into the NFP on the Euro USD, and because of that it pumped. So we may have, well, we haven't had the crossover, so that's of note. So we may have like a tick higher, but we'll have to wait and see. So that would be Euro USD sell if we get the crossover, but we haven't quite got the crossover there. So very choppy and very naughty. It's kind of hard to predict what's going to happen here. Potentially we could like not have the crossover and then boom, or perhaps we could just have the crossover and this, it carries on. So very tricky, the Euro USD right now, because we had the sell, then the buy, the sell, and then the buy, then possibly a sell. You have to remember the geopolitics with the stuff going on in the Middle East. Also, BlackRock and JP Morgan are publishing material about recession risks as well, and that the Fed waited too long before they cut. So that may bolster the USD in so much that we could go risk off, and we had a pretty risk off week last week. Bitcoin's also looking quite ugly as well, so we could have a risk off week ahead of us, and if so, this could well have a crossover to the downside. All right, so you've got to be careful. Remember, this isn't necessarily the Euro USD. When we look at the euro, we're looking at the Euro Aussie, the Euro Pound, the Euro Yen, the Euro Swiss. So we have to remember that's the basket, and this is the dollar basket. Okay, so it's not necessarily the Euro USD. Okay, so let's look at the yen. Now the yen had really pumped as forecast, as we predicted, because we've been looking at the COT data, and we'll keep the euro on. Let's look at the yen. This is the first time that I've seen this. Right, so that's fine. Still negative, but we've come really off that low. Minus 184 to minus 73, so it's like 100,000 contracts difference from the lows. So the big fish are definitely looking like they're going to potentially, we're going to go quite bullish. We need to go above the zero line. If we do, then it's going to be really interesting, because I don't think we've seen the yen go positive since quasi-DB has started, right? So now we've been going for a few years now, probably 4 or 5 years. And the yen's always been negative in the COT data, so this is going to be absolutely humongous if it does, right? And we could see a massively amount of yen strength if we cross the zero line, and then we're obviously going to get JPY longs according to the COT data, against its peers. So keep the yen on, take off the Aussie, put on the. We'll take off the euro, put on the Aussie. Knee jerk. Looks like we're going to get an AJ potentially. We need to get the crossover, but it's looking fairly likely that we're going to get an AJ sell set up. Okay, not there yet, but it possibly could happen. Then maybe over the course of the week or next Friday's COT data. Pound on. That's fine. And this is probably a 1.3. On the cable rate, it was possibly could have been a stop run. It really pumped. It was quite aggressive with the BOE. We had like a hawkish Bailey and a hawkish cut, but yeah, I think the banks weren't really that interested. And also we have domestic issues in the UK. We've got lots of riots as well, which is probably not good for confidence. Apparently there's protests and riots and demonstrations going up and down the country over the course of the weekend. So and also we've got a new government as as well. And I don't have much faith in the Treasury Secretary. We call her the Chancellor of the Exchequer in the UK, but you can also call her the Treasury Secretary. I don't have much confidence in her, and I don't really have much confidence in the government, to be honest with you. So we'll have to wait and see. I think this is possibly a stop run on cable, up to 1.3, and there's a good short if you took it at that round number. I think I got 1.2980, so I got a really good entry. But you could probably predict that was going to have like a resistance there. Normally, after these strong moves, they can't be sustained, and they can be stop runs. Okay, pound off, CAD on. CAD's been heavy. Yeah, so there's the CAD yen sell. All right, so have a look at the CAD yen performance, which we can see on the QB scores. CAD yen. On the weekly change, 5% change, which makes it the second heaviest. The pound yen was the weakest. Okay, so CAD yen really, really puked. All right, so that's this setup there, which we would have had the heads up about if you watched the video from last week. Okay, so there's the CAD yen, and you would have made an amazing amount of profit after taking that signal. So it was clear as sell signal. Hopefully that you understand that they'd sold the CAD, whereas the yen pumped. So there's the sell set up at the crossover. Hopefully that's clear. Gold on. Okay, so there's that level I said last week. So 274, 246. So we are definitely below that resistance. So be careful there, because I think if we were going to probably go to all-time high, we should have broken that resistance. So I think this was potentially a run to take some liquidity, maybe. It's worth mentioning that the herd was short and they got absolutely destroyed. And so after them getting destroyed, they can exit the casino. Them leaving en masse has a reaction to price, because it means that they're less short. And if they're less short, then we can be bearish. Okay, so if they're more short, we're bullish. Right, so less short is bearish. So that's them getting out of the casino. And to be honest with you, we were around the $2,000 mark for ages. We're at 2,400, going up to 2,500. That would have blown a lot of people up. Okay, so that's the level of note. So keep an eye on there. Right, so that's some resistance for gold. Okay, yen will keep on. In fact, we'll take gold off. New Zealand dollar. Don't forget they'd sold it on the daily. So they sold it quite heavily on Friday. Okay. Oh, I think I thought I was going to sneeze then. So New Zealand dollar is negative on the COT data, but on the retail sentiment data that they'd sold it. So this could have a little reaction there, and we could potentially go up there. We have to remember that this is lagging from Tuesday, so it's likely they would have repositioned after seeing what the sheep have done, because these guys need to get destroyed. Okay, so if they sell, they need to get destroyed. So we should see price go up higher, and then they get swallowed up by the whales, and then they get absorbed, and then it's happy days for the banks, and it's really bad for those guys. We had a 1% move on the Euro USD, like I say, but it all depends whether or not they're going to hold. And also, I'll show you the QDB scores. Look at the Aussie yen. No, sorry. Where's Aussie yen? Yeah, 93%. So they're holding on longs. So because of that, we could actually carry on falling. We have to remember to be careful of extremes, though, because if we get to 96% or 98%, there's no one left to bully, if you know what I mean. Because everyone, it needs to be like a balance, like a scale. And when the scale's too skewed, then there's no countermeasure, and so that we have to be careful. We can see reversals, so the countermeasure has to come in to fulfill the balance. So hopefully that's clear. It's like a scale, so hopefully that's clear. So that's that, and be careful with EA as well. No, sorry, EC. EC. They're very, very short, that one. They're barely long at all. And because they're so short on Euro CAD, look at the price performance there. So normally what happens is that we got red cells on the sentiment. We should see red cells on the price performance. Green cells, green cells. So price follows the sentiment. The herd move and then price punishes. Okay, so this is why sentiment is really powerful. It's why you need to get a copy or at least get access to some sentiment data. This sheet that I made is fantastic. So if you want to join and have a look at this, be my guest. We've got a free trial. It's a 7-week free trial. So let's come back to that. And so that's that. We may see a knee-jerk reaction on there, but it's hard to say because this is lagging from Tuesday. New Zealand are off, and then Swiss franc, and it looks like I've might be getting a cold. Swiss franc, we did tick higher from 49 to 34,000. So that's me done. I've got an eye ache, by the way, so I need to take it a bit easy tomorrow because I spent so long in front of the computer on Friday. I sort of damaged my eye a little bit. So hopefully this video was useful. If you want to join us, then we've got the Patreon link in this video, and I wish you a good day. And I'm just going to take it easy probably tomorrow. If my eye improves, I'll be around, I think, but I've got like a pain in my right eye, so it's a bit rubbish. So I need to rest it a little bit, and I'll speak to you guys soon.